News. I'm Afreen Khan, your host for the broadcast and head of operations at CIO News. This is our exclusive fireside chat powered by Avaya on transformation through customer experience. This is a recorded session and will be available on our website cionews.co.in and our CIO News LinkedIn handle. I'm very excited to invite my guest for today, Mr. Sitesh Srivastava. He is the CIO and CTO at Alankit Group. Sitesh is an experienced CIO and CTO with a demonstrated history of working in the information technology and services industry. He is highly skilled in business process, customer relationship management, IT service management, IT strategy, data center, GST implementation. We welcome you, Sitesh.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Afreen.
I also have along with me Nitin Khare, who is the senior sales engineer at Avaya. Nitin is a seasoned pre-sales executive with over 18 years of experience in implementing successful sales strategies and motivating highly galvanized teams to produce significant results. He has a distinguished background in technical consulting field to drive revenues across multiple sales organizations and is adept at designing and executing effective sales strategies to build and nurture sales funnel, an exemplary communicator with the passion and drive needed to cultivate and foster professional and personal relationships while maintaining trust of the customers. So, welcome, Nitin.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So, yes, Sudesh, you were saying something?
No, just welcome. I just wanted, first of all, I would like to give a thanks to the Avaya that they have given us this opportunity to express my things in front of this CIO and the technology world, right? And so, first of all, I would like to give my introductions of mine and in terms of my company and myself, Sitesh Srivastava. I have a total experience of 22 years in this technology world, right? And as far as as far as my company Alankit is concerned, it actually it works in four of the verticals that in RegTech and in the financial technologies. In terms of technology, if we'll talk about, we are into a e-governance space, into insurance space, as well as in the healthcare also, right? And if we talk about in terms of technology, so we are very fast and robust infrastructure in terms of technology we have built on, and we are a qualified GSP, wherein all the express routes and the all complete infrastructures has been developed on the cloud itself in that part. So we are around a 35-year-old company. They working with this. This is all about our company introductions in this. Yeah.
Thank you, Sudesh. Thank you so much. I think, the background and the introduction, I think that gives me a cue. So, let's just dive in. So, my first question to you, Sudesh, is particularly on technology.
Yeah,
So, we know that, with the current growth in technology, we know that cloud is like an inevitable option. So, how
yeah.
important is it to migrate to the cloud, and what factors would you consider while migrating to cloud?
Well, Afreen, as far as the cloud is concerned, now the entire era of the technology is getting into the cloud, actually, right? So that totally depends on the cloud migration. First of all, I would like to give answers of your first questions, that what exactly is the cloud and how the migrations is so important. Migration of cloud is totally depends on the requirement of the organizations, right? First thing. Second thing is that because like our type of company wherein what we are into a mix and match vertical into that, and I would like to give a reference of my company, so accordingly you will be able to understand in terms of transformations of cloud from the on-prem infrastructure to the cloud sectors, right? Then the first thing I would like to share is that that depend on the organizations to organizations, that how the clouds things has to be data has to be moved to the different, because that the shifting of cloud is totally depend on the strategy, that what kind of a strategy you are looking for in terms of the business value, that what business value you would like to put into that. If suppose I have a very I have a very bulk data of the emails and everything. And if we type a active storage or the passive storage, there are two type of storage on the cloud is there, right? So that depends ki, that how much active storage you are requiring and how much passive storage you are requiring on the cloud. First thing. Second thing is that if we have to put the data on the cloud, so that first of all we'll have to recognize by the business that what kind of data we would like to shift over there, whether the active or the passive, because that the strategy of the costing is also very important factors if you are shifting the data from the on-prem to the cloud, right? So the will whosoever is wanted to shift on the cloud, first factor is to depend on the commercial point of view as well as the regulator point of view, because as far as the Indian, because if we talk about our organization, so we are dealing most of the government agencies like income tax department, IRDA, NAC, BAC, and everything, wherein what they are not allowing us to go data from on-prem to the cloud, right? So in that sense, you will see that again we will talk about the GST. So GST is totally hosted on the cloud where the express routes and everything are there on the cloud. So if we talk about if the regulators are giving you authentication that the data has to be kept on on-prem itself, then the cloud is not perfect situations for the organizations to go on cloud. But if the cloud, if you have that much data, because if you are putting data on the cloud, there are lots of efficiencies coming from the organization's point of view, wherein what the manpower you do not require in manpower, you do not require the licensing, you do not manage if you are taking to the managed services on cloud, then of course it is very important to get all the data on managed services, and the you are taking security, because nowadays the data security is one of the most important factors, and the through which the all things are getting on importance, as well as the privilege of the data, right? So that totally depends on that ki how what is the scenario is depending on the organizations to shifting the data. Yeah.
Great. I think, yes, when it comes to understanding of what can be migrated to cloud and what cannot, even as per the industry compliance, is very important factor to be considered. Also, security, all time important factor, yes, because
Yes.
anything related to any infrastructure migration, yes, security is always the top priority.
Yes.
So,
Hmm.
yes. So, Nitin, over to you.
Yeah, Nitin.
Sure. Thanks so much, Afreen. And welcome, Sitesh. Thanks a lot for taking time out and joining us today for this session.
Thanks,
So
Nitin.
now, as you rightly mentioned, the world is shifting towards cloud, and you seem like a very tech-savvy person yourself. So I just wanted to understand from you how important is it for a company to deliver superior experience using the digital channels?
Mhm. So if we'll talk about the digital, if Nitin, first of all, I would like to share my experience in terms of digital channel. The company,
Sure.
whosoever is this, the company, like very important example is our the honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. If you talk about the digital clouds and everything. So, honorable Prime Minister, you see that when how the India has come into the digital space for all across the world, not only in India in terms of digital. If you talk about, so the why I've started with the I just don't wanted to take any political party into that, but what exactly I would like to do is the 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 things which is, if we'll talk about the digital channel, so the digital channel has a very important role in the current scenario for the entire world, because social media earlier one in past time, if we'll go for the historical times, there was the news when it was coming, just I take a digital media of the news channel only. So earlier there was a huge gap between the incident happened and the around it takes to travel informations from one space to the another space, more or around, well, around 1 days or 2 days. Nowadays, what has happened with the help of the digital channel, the information flows so fastly and so furiously now that the information is going into a different way. And apart from that, also, if you will find that there are lots of things, there are lots of channel. Earlier, there was only the TV was the mode, but now the TV has become a totally not even secondary. It has become a tertiary mode of informations, because the social media, if you talk about the Twitter and if you talk about the Facebook, if you're LinkedIn, Instagram, and most of the digital channel which is there into in our media, so of course it has a very huge role, and the transformation and the automations is being taking place with these social medias and everything with that. So of course the digital channel has a very great role in the current scenario to getting upgradations, to getting deliverable, to getting automations, to getting all the opportunities and the experience. So of course the digital channel is one of the most important factors through which all things are getting to the in place, and the transformations and the automations is also taking place with the help of the digital channel. Yeah.
Very well articulated, Sitesh, and thank you so much for that wonderful insight. Which
Right.
brings me to my next question for you. We've been hearing a lot about Chat GPT and generative AI technologies. So, how do you see the Fortune 500 companies adapting to this uh, new gambit of AI, and how would they look to use it to improve their reach to their end clients or customers?
Well, Nitin, if we'll talk about the chat GPT, it's really a revolution to the India. You know, okay, the day once the technology is getting from one place to another places, and always there is a one, like one earlier the WhatsApp has came, it has a revolutions. Earlier before WhatsApp, there the Facebook has came, it has a revolutions. In current scenario, if you talk about the chat GPT, is one of the revolutions of in all across the world, not only India. I'll talk one thing. So if we talk about the another 500 Fortunes company in the Chat GPT, Chat GPT is I personally have used that Chat GPT, and I have first of all I would like to give my technical background about that. So I have a total. I was a hard. I started my career as a software developer, right? And I have a huge experience of the. I was started with the DBA. I have around 10 years of experience of DBA, right? So if we will talk about the why I'm giving my background, so that I can connect the Chat GPT with the current scenario, right? So the day before yesterday only, I was just exploring that Chat GPT, that how just I want everybody is saying that the AI ML and the Chat GPT has a revolutions of that. So what happens that well, suppose the stored procedure and the view has to be right in the SQL server and in the query in the DBA, right? So just give the optimizations of the if some problem is coming to your database for in terms of optimizations or the deliverable. So if you put into chat GPT is what it is, a suggestive tools actually. It is not going to develop a code and everything for you. It's just it will give you a suggestions, but that suggestion, if the suggestions is not up to that mark, so again you can ask that questions to the chat GPT, and then they will deliverable with you. Earlier what was there, that if some bugs are coming, so the developers are getting stuck into that. It may takes like 1 week or 2 weeks to fix that bugs. If they are not able to, in fact they are not able to sleep in the night also. Okay, oh, tomorrow I have a deliverable time and I do not have that solutions, and tomorrow boss is not going to spare me at all, right? But as far as the chat GPT is concerned, if you have stuck, because I personally have checked that the optimizations in the databases and all, so it has totally been developed and developed with the developers. So the Fortune 5 chat GPT is also going to be a revolutionary for the next coming era in terms of technology. And for the as far as the big Fortune 500 companies are, they are going to use that thing. And you must be aware that the Google and both the things are going to be handshake with each other, because you know that the Google is the first one whosoever the technology is coming, they used to grab that technology in their search engine, right? So ChatGPT has a very great advantage for all 500 Fortune of India, and that is going to be all across in terms of and it is not in terms of technology only, but in terms of any sort of life, any sort of solutions what we are looking in terms of any, either in the personal life, either into the social life, either into the technological life, or either in any of sorts. So everywhere you will find that, okay, it's going to be rock in that. So of course it has a very great advantage in terms of chat gpt. Yeah.
Sure. Totally agree with you. And thank you so much for that insight as well.
Yeah.
Over to you, Afreen.
Thanks, Nitin. So, Sitesh, as you rightly mentioned, when you speak about flow of information, when we speak about AI, ChatGPT also for that matter, it is more to do with a revolution in technology
Right.
and a revolution which is more to do with the experience, the overall experience that an organization would want to provide for its
Right.
internal as well as external customers.
Right.
So, when we talk about customers and experience, my next question is revolving around the same. So,
Right.
let's talk about CX measurement, that is customer
Mhm.
experience measurement. How do
Mhm.
you measure customer experience, And could you share some tips on how customer experience can be enhanced using technology? Now that we have tools in place, we have an ever evolving technology. How do you think we can actually optimize that?
So, answer to your question, Afrin. Thanks for asking this question. This question is very close to my heart first, right? So, if we talk about the customer, because my developers, whenever I'm going to the meeting and my first agenda is the UI UX. If UI UX is not up to the marks, then the customer experience is not going to be happened on a very yeah, right. First thing. The second thing is that as far as the customer experience is concerned, only the customer experience allow you to grow your business actually, right? Suppose let's say you have joined me and just coming to my Afrin, I'm very much busy. You tell me the questions what exactly you want. I don't have a time. I have to rush for that. What was your experience with me? You must have like, oh yeah, why I have connect this guy to in that. Just I'm giving an example. I'm not saying, and then I'll come to the in terms of technology as well. So how you are talking and how you are talking to the people. I'll talk. I always connect personal life to the technological life. I never go with the directly technology because, of course, if you how you're thinking, how you're going to do your business, that you're going to reflect to the customer experience actually, right? So the customer experience is one of the most important factors. Either you see the whosoever, like if you talk about the Blinkit, you talk about the Amazon, you if you talk about the any of the your e-commerce website and everywhere, or either with the Facebook, either with the chat gpt, either with the WhatsApp. These all what these are all our customer experience. When the I remember the era when the WhatsApp has been launched, right? So on that point nobody was using that kind of the WhatsApp, and now without WhatsApp you can't live. This is your customer experience only, which makes you to get into that. Now, so the customer CSAT is one of the customer satisfactions. First, if we talk about the customer experience, then the five factors are very important to look into that. If any of the technical company or any of the things are getting into that, then the customer experience is that four factor. One is first is your the customer satisfaction score. Second is your net promoter score, that is NPS. First is the CSAT. Second one is your NPS, and third one is your CES, that is the customer effective score, and the fourth is your the customer lifetime value, right? And what is the customer churn rate, and what is the customers retention rate? That also depends on that how it takes place and how it happens to the how the customers are coming, how many time I am spending. Suppose let's say I'm going to shop any of the, suppose this is my AirPod and I just wanted to purchase this AirPod on the gear, on the any e-commerce site. And when I have gone there and the AirPod I want, they have given the list, but they have not produced any of the pictorial diagrams of that how it looks like, what is the specifications, what is the so this is I'm not going to buy this, because only reading a text, and if somebody wants me to buy and invest around 12,000 or 15,000 rupees on the AirPod. So I'm not going to take that thing. So where the customer experience comes into the picture, like if the customer experience, if your sites or your product has been designing keeping on the mind of your analysis, that what kind of analysis customers requirement is there in terms of different segment, so that totally depend on the customer experience only. So the customer experience is the only one factor which gets the business from one axis to top access to low access. And the many examples are there. If you will talk about, if Nokia is the best example of that. Earlier, when the Android phone, Samsung phone has came on that time, only the Nokia was there, right? Just if you talk, if you will go for the case studies, they haven't adopted that customer experience, and nowadays only they are into a communications in terms of strategy and in terms of technology. The Samsung is very far than Nokia now currently, right? So the customer experience, CX is one of the most measurement factors, and the business always grows with the customer experience only, because now all the in pandemic period, the when we have all suffered with the pandemic period, that was the, and that helps the industry to enhance their customer experience more during that period. Just see the one era before pandemic and one era after pandemic, right? And if you'll talk about both if you'll compare both the era with the customer experience, there are far difference into that, because in during pandemic, we are really experience that should be there, either with the taking of a milk, or either with the groceries, either with the vegetables, either with the petrol, anything which we wanted to wear. So that has totally come with the with your customer experience only with that. So of course, if you really, if anyone wanted to increase your engagement, then a customer experience should must have a super. I've told you about the parameters that totally depend on the customer experience. Yeah.
I think very, very important points for us to pick up from there, Sitesh, and you rightly mentioned, because ultimately it's about evolving as an organization, and customer experience needs to evolve
Yeah.
as you are, because ultimately there's competition in the market. So how you are ahead of the competitors is definitely determined about how your customers stick to you. And
Yeah.
for that, the enhancement of their experience is very, very important. So
Yes.
some really, really insightful points out there. So thank you so much for mentioning that.
Right.
And with that, we come to the end of our session. So,
Right.
any points for our viewers? Any thoughts that you'd like to leave for our viewers?
No, first of all, thank you so much. I would like to, Avaya is one of the best things, really. I have a very good experience with Avaya. And thank you so much for that opportunity. And as far as the, of course, be fit, be nowadays, after pandemic, the important is that you should work on your fitness. So all my viewers, I would like to say that be fit and be technological accurate with that. That's it.
Thank you, Sitesh. Thank you so much. Nitin,
Thank
any
Thank you,
last
Sitesh.
thoughts from your side that you'd like to mention?
I just want to thank Sitesh for the wonderful insights and this all important tip of maintaining the fitness. And I totally agree with him. Yeah. So I'm going to
you.
work on my fitness from now on.
Right. No, you are already fit, Nathan. You don't have to walk. Right. Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks so much. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks, Afreen.